separate priority. This is how you be on YouTube Live. So we're broadcasting it today to our students who have kids that thumbs up. We just got the right there. Thank you for doing it. Really appreciate the community coming out to learn more about Ski Corporation and what we're doing at Cuchara Park. As there's other, it's long, it's filled with a lot of text, it's boring, and I know this because I went through it one time and I wrote it. So I'm going to do my best to just give you the highlights of each slide. I ask that you ingest the information and then we'll have questions at the end, because if you have a question up front, that may be settled in the slide later. Also, like to make everybody aware that we are recording this and it is going out live. So if you don't want to have your likeness or image, or for any reason you don't wish to be broadcasted out, now would be the time to leave. Well, anybody that goes to the YouTube link that we listed on Facebook. So, whoever signs on that, probably perhaps. And for those folks that are tuning in via YouTube Live, really appreciate you tuning in. Not sure what we have set up to gather questions. Do be aware that the Google form that I sent out is still available. It is still live. So if you're on our Facebook page and you click that form, I will check it before we're done today to see if anything new comes up. All right. All right, so before we get into the meat of the Board of County Commissioners presentation, I just want to bring your attention to one thing: affordable, family-friendly recreation. Everything that Panadero Ski Corporation does is around affordable, family-friendly recreation. When we're going through the slide deck, if you have any questions, remember affordable, family-friendly recreation.
There we go. Sorry, Fred, and sorry for those folks online. Things are now hopefully worked out. So, why Panadero Ski Corporation? We listed out a few endorsements. SE Group is a industry expert as far as ski resort planning, and they talked to us significantly throughout our attempt to present to the commissioners. And with their experience and with what we've done and the contacts we've made, they thought it was a logical choice for us to operate the park. The Cuchara Foundation has been working closely with us throughout this entire process, because the Cuchara Foundation, being responsible for the donations that purchase the park, is heavily vested in seeing the success of the park and seeing that it's valued and cherished and remains in a manner in which everybody can come out and it's family friendly, and you can doing so well here. Yeah, so this guy is Chris Anthony. We're going to talk about him a little bit more. He is a he is a Colorado Ski Hall of Famer. He's heavily networked into the international ski industry, and he learned about our project and immediately wanted to be part of it. Again, we'll talk about that a little bit later, but he showed up at the county courthouse in Walsenburg and spoke about his program and how it might work with Panadero Ski Corporation and what we're attempting to do here at Cuchara Mountain Park. So, who are we? How many people here are aware of Panadero Ski Corporation as an organization? Pretty much everybody. Cool. So we're going to blast through this. Like I said, there's a lot of words, but we are a 501c3 nonprofit. Okay. Everybody, what that means is the board of directors. We're all volunteers. We're not taking any salaries. We will attempt to run this as a business, and a nonprofit does not mean that we're going to break even at $0 at the end of the year. We're going to try to accumulate as much revenue through lift ticket sales, programs, events, donations, grants as possible, because running a lift and providing something like this is not cheap. So we're a 501c3, and we're going to continue to donate or continue to raise money. Our mission is to bring lift-aided skiing and year-round lift-served recreation to Cuchara Mountain Park, ensuring that fun, affordable, and educational opportunities are available for everyone. Our commitments, again, a lot of text here, but I'm going to point you to the bold up there. We want to make sure that Cuchara Mountain or Parker Fitzgerald Cuchara Mountain Park remains a cherished community resource for generations to come. This doesn't start and stop with the tenure of this board right now. We hope that this continues on in perpetuity, along with Cuchara Mountain Park being a county park in perpetuity. We believe that the park must be driven by a higher purpose and a desire to make an impact. Again, we're not here to make money, to sell real estate or anything like that. We want to see people getting out into the outdoors, enjoying what we can provide here at Cuchara Mountain Park.
To add to that, the other part is to bring some more visitors to the area, especially in the wintertime, to help our local economy be strong year-round. And we don't need to shut down during the winter. So that's kind of another aspect of this, kind of that it flows down throughout the valley and hopefully the whole region.
Absolutely. Thank you, Will. All right, so our progress here. I look at all the bullets. And again, we can ignore the bullets, but at a high level, we have made significant progress this summer. It's amazing how much has been done. Every shiv wheel out there, those are the wheels that the cable runs on at the lift, has been taken down. It has been cleaned. We put new liners on them. We put new bearings on them. We put new bolts on them. Before we move forward here, I want to acknowledge this team on the right. Now, everybody squint real hard in the room. Okay. So the person that's already been pointed out earlier, Jeremy Golnick, he's been here as one of our volunteers for the duration of our project, and we could not have done any of this without Jeremy's hard work. And Jeremy, we thank you. We have another volunteer out of Westcliff. His name is Kevin Chapman. He's been coming down for years. Oh no!
You keep going. Okay. You can. Yeah. Well, it's good to give you back.
This is our avalanche dog.
Robin, would you mind holding that? Thank you all for your flexibility and bearing with us here. I did not plan for this to happen and go out on us. But let's go back. Kevin Chapman lives in Westcliff, and he's been coming down for years on his own dime. And I don't know if anybody's been to the gas pump recently, but not cheap. But he continues to come down and work on the lift. He's an electrician that has been doing a lot of the low voltage work at the lift. He has been invaluable. He's currently in Oregon harvesting some grapes right now. He's not here, but I want everybody to know that without him and without Jeremy, we would be nowhere. There's two other individuals in this picture. They are former employees of Angel Fire Resort. Robin, our ski patrol director, was down there picking up some things that were donated to Cuchara Mountain Park. And Robin, being the talkative guy that he is, ended up finding Waylon McDonald and Rick Hodgson. These two individuals, like I said, worked at Angel Fire Resort in the past. They have experience on a similar riblet lift, almost exactly like the one that we're doing right here. I explained the project and what we were looking to do, and they're like, okay, we don't really know what we're getting into, but we're willing to come up here and take a look at it. They came up, they worked on it for a week, maybe 2 weeks, and they were hooked. They want to keep coming back here. They're like, we see the potential here, and we want to be part of that. And I apologize again for standing in front of you.
Okay, you're walking back and forth. So that works out okay.
We want to be part of this. It is special. I see what you're doing here, and we want to help. So we've had them back probably 3 times now, and that team of 4 on the ground has done so much this summer that has gotten us so close to certification by the Colorado Passenger Tramway Safety Board. We believe we're in a spot right now where the lift is in working condition on its own electrical. All the braking systems are set up. Everything that our engineering consulting team has asked us to do has pretty much been ticked off. So that thing right there is looking pretty good. And if you go out there and you actually look at the shiv wheels, they're shiny right now. Next steps is for that same engineering team that we contracted with to come back down here, look at everything that we've done, accept what we've done, and they'll do one more pass to see if they come up with anything else that needs to be addressed before we go to the Passenger Tramway Safety Board. What the next steps will be is the tram board will inspect us, and that looks like us loading every chair with weights and then every other chair on the way down with weights. And we're going to run the entire lift. We're going to go through an emergency stop sequence. We're just going to do all the things that need to be done on a daily operational model. The tram board does this for every lift in Colorado. So we're just in the process to do something that's normal for every lift. We might get looked at a little closer because this thing hasn't run in 22 years. Run for the public. I mean, it runs right now. They might look at it a little bit closer, but we're very, very confident that the things we have done will allow us to be certified. So are we, I don't know if there's a power issue, like, but,
It's going to sleep.
so is this thing, let's see what happens if,
I hope this didn't happen during the county commissioners.
They had their own.
Oh, they had their own projector.
all right, we'll give it a second here. What happened to my daughters? That's concerning.
Yeah. I bet you know the president.
Thought you were in charge.
Kale, when it goes out, I'll just be poised.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see where we are. So everything that I've been sharing with you today is a high level. It was a pitch to the county commissioners. And I want to make everybody aware that over the past 4 to 6 to 8 months, we've been documenting what day-to-day operations will look like. We have a full business plan that we've been using internally to draw out what day-to-day is going to look like. So you're seeing it at a high level, but we have a much more granular level that we're going to use internally. And it's not just, this isn't our plan that you're seeing right now for the next 38 seconds, but there's a lot more behind it. Activities at Cuchara Mountain Park. Pretty much we value everything that was provided in the 2017 or 2018 master plan for the park. All of those activities, we want to see them, we want to offer them, we want to see people enjoying the park. We will acknowledge that there's going to be things that are fee-based. Any scenic lift rides in the summer would be fee-based. We've been tossing around like $7 to $10 to get someone to the top in the summer, and hopefully we'll have a hiking trail up there that'll lead to a picnic table or something along those lines, or you can access to the Forest Service. Summer tubing, that'll be something we talk about a little bit later, but that'll be a for-fee model. In the winter, downhill skiing, obviously, and winter tubing when that infrastructure becomes available. Skiing at Cuchara Mountain Park, obviously. We have a ski lift that will allow winter skiing. Again, affordable, kid, family, and beginner friendly. We also want to embrace the alpine touring crowd, which they've already discovered the park. You'll find the parking lots very full, and Will's racing them to the top, earning your own turns.
I get to the top too.
He's racing. There's one thing on here. We have no plans to expand lift serve to USFS land, but we'll evaluate possibilities after successful seasons. We've had a positive relationship with our district ranger, Destiny Chapman, and we've kept her in the loop about all the things that are going on in the park. But right now, as I have shared with many people on Facebook, it's pizza before French fries. We're going to do Lift 4. We're going to establish a working model there. We would like to show success there and then see what can happen. Year-round tubing. This is something that SE Group provided to the county commissioners to say that one way for this park to succeed is to offer tubing. They feel that in the summer, it can be quite lucrative to have people tubing. That's okay, we're not switching off of tubing. For those, so what's interesting and funny about this is everybody that's viewing on YouTube right now, they're viewing the presentation off of a different computer, so they get to see everything. They have no idea that we're struggling up here with a projector.
Everybody run home and watch online. Yeah, we can get out our phones and watch it on YouTube. Yeah.
So summer tubing, SE Group feels that this can be a successful way to generate revenue at Cuchara Mountain Park. And As I stated earlier, we're going to continue to need ways to bring in money to make the park sustainable. If we can do that with tubing, we're absolutely going to embrace it. The county has offered to partner with us to request a grant that will pay for the infrastructure, which is the magic carpet that'll go with that. You can see the tubing lane there. That's a manufactured surface. And in the winter, we would ask for snow guns and snowmaking wherever we're going to put the winter tubing area.
Dale, how long is that carpet, that magic carpet?
About 2,000 feet. It's the world's biggest. No, in actuality, we're looking at below 400 feet. Don't know exactly. They're priced at 200 feet, 300 feet, 350 feet, and then 400. Once you hit 400, there's different insurance liabilities that come into play, so we'd like to keep it below 400. There's a lot of variables that go into play before we start working on what tubing will look like. Much of that is, do we have $800,000 to buy the infrastructure? Right now, we don't.
Did you say the county was going to be involved with the infrastructure for the tubing?
That's correct.
Financially, you mean? Or
Correct. They're going to be a co-partner on a grant. Other revenue sources. I'm going to fly right through this one because I've said it 3 times already. We're going to continue to raise money through grants, donations, strategic sponsorships. Fundraisers, yeah. Will is dialing it in.
More concerts, fundraising concerts, events, things like that. So. Multiple revenue streams is how we're going to survive.
All right, so preview of our next slide while that loads is workforce. So I talked a little bit about it earlier. We have 7 volunteer board members that have been working behind the scenes. We have some boots on the ground individuals, but everybody is working on a volunteer basis right now. In year 2, it's very important that we bring in a general manager and a maintenance director to help the mountain survive. I feel like it's not hooked up to a power source or something like that.
It's almost like it's got intermittent power and gets enough to fire up.
So let's see if we can do this. See what happens. We have to lower that a little bit. Try to replace that one. You can set it on something. No, I was trying to replace this one. So if my computer dies, that tells us that something wrong with that in the socket there. All right, we're back. Workforce. So year 2, we're hoping to bring on full-time employees, maintenance director, general manager for the park, so that the volunteer board can step back and still offer strategic vision, but focus on fundraising and allow somebody that's here day to day to run and operate the park. Please.
So that general manager will definitely have ski industry experience kind of across operations and even some base operations, so like retail, stuff like that. So, we're not just going to bring in anybody, we're going to bring in someone that knows the operating procedures on a lift and all the safety stuff, who can run it the exact right way that it needs to be run to make sure it's a safe environment.
is year 1 this year?
I'm sorry?
Is year 1 this year?
It is. Yeah, we'll be mostly working on a volunteer basis. Anytime the lift is open, we won't have any paid employees at this time.
Are you running on a calendar year, so year 1 goes through December, or?
It's open-ended. I'll let you know when it ends. No, I would say year 1 is right now. We're working to get the lift certified. Once we open to the public, year one begins. Year two would be the next winter season. Year three would be the season after that.
You're gonna be making snow this year?
Yes, that guy will be. We good? Questions? All right, so community impact. Why are we all doing this? Because we think we can make a difference within the community. We think we can offer great programs at the park. Two Peaks Fitness has done their Fun Fridays here at the park several times. We've done it in the summer with a bike day. We've done it in the winter with a sledding day. Kelly has spoken to someone at an organization called Vetscape Ventures, which is looking to bring disabled veterans to the park. When we talk about revenue earlier, if there's overflows or surpluses in revenue, we're going to look to put back into scholarship programs. We're going to embrace the local schools to see if we can get kiddos up here. And I mentioned Chris Anthony earlier, and again, we're going to talk more about that again because that's big for us. That's another project that'll get kids from all the counties surrounding Huerfano County up here, accessing the outdoors and having a good time. There it is. I foreshadowed several times the Chris Anthony Youth Initiative project. I said up top that he came across our mission and was like, I want to be part of this. He came to the commissioners, but where he's at right now is he is now taking our message into his network. And I mentioned earlier that he's well known within the international ski scene. So he's talking about Cuchara Mountain Park and us being a mom and pop shop and being able to offer something to the kids of this area that don't really have the opportunity to drive 4 hours to get to a Vail to pay $200 and whatever dollars up there. Like, we have the ability to enable all of them. And he sees this and he's going to go into the schools. He's going to talk to them about what outdoor recreation means. He has several different programs. Kelly, Vanna, we've lost our screen again. He's got several different programs that he talks to schools about, but he's all on board, wants to help bring kids and people to the park and enable them. Part of his program is he's paying for lift tickets, he's paying for their rental gear, he's paying for their transportation, pretty much everything to get these kids on mountain, which is a fantastic thing.
I remember when that started in '91 when I lived here. Yeah.
Nice.
Fabulous.
Yeah, and Chris's programs are not just on the mountain, but he also goes into the classroom as well.
Yeah.
And will teach kind of classroom a day before and then can bring them up. So it's really a holistic education experience. And he's a fantastic motivator and get kids involved. So we're just so excited to have him on board.
Yeah. So community events, I'm pretty sure that everybody has probably come across one of the things that we've done here. Will and Kelly organized the July 2nd First Chair Festival. I hope everybody was able to attend. If you weren't able to attend, you certainly missed out because we had a blast. It rained the entire time, but we still managed to have fun. Will organized Huerfanimus, which just happened on September 17th, pulling in people from Los Animas County, as well as vendors bringing up and selling their goods up here, trying to make the relationship between the different counties and just do something special. There's snowshoe races that are booked already for this winter. In March, there was an ultra marathon that happened this summer. It's going to come back again next summer. We're working with the race director there, and we're going to continue with the archery shoots, movies on the mountains. We're just going to continue to embrace the fun things that are already happening out there.
A disc golf tournament, there's one tomorrow. If you're interested and not signed up yet, you still got a couple hours.
So Will talked a little bit about this earlier. I'm not going to blast through it because this is very important. I'm sure everybody's aware that the outdoor recreation industry is huge in Colorado, across the U.S. for that matter. In the SE Group analysis, they found that by enabling lift-served recreation at Cuchara Mountain Park, we might be able to inject $1.16 million in total sales, both direct and indirect, into the local economies. 22 jobs, both direct and indirect, could result of what we're doing right now. And there could be potentially $118,000 in annual tax revenues coming back into the county. I didn't make up any of this. This is an industry expert with 60 years of experience providing these numbers to us. I'll take a quick moment for I'm going to blast through this next one that's about to pop up there. Not to say it's not important. I think we can all agree that health and education are at the forefront of a healthy community. We feel that by introducing opportunities for individuals to come out to the park, they're going to be healthier. And health is tied to education. And if we can bring people, students, to the park, they're going to be more motivated. They're going to be stewards for the outdoors, and they're going to gain an appreciation for it. And studies show that having this appreciation for the outdoors directly correlates to their success educationally. Proposal. We asked the county for 10 years. They said no. But they're like, we really like what you're selling here, and we want to see you succeed. So they said, why don't we start with a memorandum of understanding for 1 year. And in that 1 year, we need you to prove out a couple of things. One is to have the lift certified, 2 to be insured, 3 to ensure that we have water rights, which we believe we do. So there was a few intent items that we need to satisfy there. Once we satisfy those items, they'll then talk to us about a longer term contract. Initially, we were talking about 3 to 5 years. Who knows what those negotiations look like? If we're killing it, let's ask for 20. A little bit more why we asked for 10 years. We think that for the success of this mountain, we need to have partnerships. Those partnerships need long-term commitments. They don't want to put out $40,000 and then have us go belly up in 18 months. They need to know that we're going to be here for 10 years, or at least the county's not going to pull the rug out from under us in 18 months. Will, I think I'm finally at a spot where I can stop talking and hand it over to you.
Yeah, so this is kind of our proposed timeline. This talks a little bit more of what the workforce, I turn my mic on, kind of what the workforce slide was talking about, but we are planning a kind of a gradual, a gradual build-up. So up here, year 1, our winter 22-23, which is coming up soon. We're in this rush. We get this lift certified. Our insurance is in place. Once it is certified, we can start having passengers up here. But as we talked about in the workforce, we're pretty much all volunteers. There's no way, we all have day jobs, we all have families. There's no way we can be up here running a 3-day-a-week, every weekend operation. It's just too much. So we're kind of planning to be open as much as we can with volunteer help. So the board will be up there. I can't wait to be bumping chairs and saying hi to people when they get on the chairs and ride. But we'll also ask the community if they want to volunteer to help and help with lift operations, or help sell lift tickets, or be a greeter and informate. So this winter, we're going to rely a lot on our community to kind of come together and help us be open as much as possible. And then it's about to be back up, but if we're open, even if it's not full time, we are getting revenue that's not donations. This is key for us. It's lift tickets coming in. So we hope we can build that money. We have the lift in pretty good shape. We can start getting a budget to get that GM and a full-time maintenance manager on staff. So we can really then bump up so that year 2 winter we can be open at least Friday, Saturday, and Sunday every weekend. We're hoping with Jeremy's expertise in snowmaking to be open around right before Christmas time and stay open until at least March. And then that's a kind of, like I said, a 3-day weekend model, open on holidays as well. If we're successful, we'd love to see if we could expand it to 4 days and go there. But I think I skipped over a little bit in the summer. The summer is going to be a lot. We're, like Cale mentioned, writing the grant with the county for the tubing infrastructure. If that comes in, we will be trying to build that out. Jeremy will also be working on expanding the snowmaking access as well. We can focus on getting a little more guns. And then also, we're hoping to then start also thinking about summertime activities, building actual hiking trails, biking trails up on the mountain. Kale might be able to speak a little bit better to where we are on kind of that aspect of it, but we have some grants and some people who have identified areas and some trails. I don't know if you want to fill anything in there.
Yeah, the International Mountain Biking Association has been on site 2 times this year, and that was as a result of us winning a Trail Accelerator grant. The Cuchara Foundation and myself wrote that grant, and we were awarded that in July of this year. The output of that is they're going to document a series of riding areas in and around Cuchara Mountain Park, with the park serving as a recreational hub where people will start and end their day at the park. They've also talked about potentially tying the park into downtown Cuchara. The county has been, I believe, awarded a grant through the Department of Transportation, where they're already going to begin work on a trail on Highway 12, like a crushed gravel trail from Cuchara all the way up to the park. So that's already in the works that the county was doing, and I was unaware of that. I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah, so basically, the main point is we are gradually building this up. And we hope after we're open full-time not this upcoming winter, but the next winter, we can really start to open it up and be a true year-round recreation spot with more amenities, free and fee-based. But hiking, biking, unless you're putting it on the chairlift, that's going to be completely free.
So successful nonprofit models. The question is, can a nonprofit run a park? And our answer is absolutely. People are doing it all across the country. We have House and Hill and Steamboat, Antelope Butte, Ascutney Outdoors, Mount Ashford, and Cooper Mountain. All of these are nonprofits running the park. Someone had a question that may have come in through Facebook. How much snow do these resorts get? I looked it up. They get less than our average 250 inches per year. So it can be done. We've been speaking quite frequently with a chairman on the Antelope Butte Board of Directors, and he's been sharing their path to success and what they've done. And we've learned quite a bit from him, and he's agreed to serve as sort of a mentor to us.
So if you go to the next slide, you can kind of talk.
Actually, can we go back a moment, if I may interject? I would encourage everyone to go on YouTube and look at Ascutney's, their story. They have a YouTube video up. It's really inspiring. This was a community who relied on their ski hill, and through years of financial mismanagement, that ski hill closed, and they came together as a community and brought it back as a community-run nonprofit ski hill. It's incredible what they've done. So that's been an inspiration for us. I totally encourage everybody to go.
I literally teared up.
Yeah. Where is it? It's in the Northeast. Is it Vermont or New Hampshire?
Vermont.
And which one was that?
Ascutney.
Ascutney, okay. South Vermont.
Gail, one of the points that comes through when you look at the areas you depicted up there
Hold on, give Jim the.
is that
Take that to him.
the community, as you were stating earlier.
Hold on, Jim. Hold on. Now you go.
The community, as you were stating earlier,
That's for the online audience.
That's for the online, yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
The community, as you were stating earlier, benefits greatly once one of these gets up and going. And we can't underestimate that. You know, those of you that spend winters here know that this place kind of dries up in the winter. You can't find a place to stay if you're coming in from out of town. You can't find a place to eat, especially during the week. This can change that. And when you see the YouTube video or you read about these other places, that comes through over and over. And that's why the community gets involved, stays involved, and benefits. So when you're talking to the local business owners here, saying, well, you're going to be open this winter, and they say, well, I don't know, say, well, you better be open this winter or try being open, because we really think this will energize it. So
Yeah.
you can get a beer if you want one, you can get a burger, if this all gets rolling.
Yeah, absolutely, Jim, and thank you for that. I think I should also note that I've started reaching out to some of the local anchor businesses to see what it might look like if we're to operate on a limited schedule this winter, what it might look like for them next winter. So we're already starting to have those conversations of how their lives could change if we got this going. Willio.
Yeah, so this is just a quick rundown about Antelope Butte. Somebody's at someone's front door. I know that ring. But Antelope Butte has another similar story to Cuchara. Antelope Butte was a ski hill it's in Shell, Wyoming, but if you're familiar with Sheridan, Wyoming, that's the closest quote unquote large city. But it closed after 44 years in 2004. Kind of the same thing, the community was devastated, economically, and just they loved having that resource. So people banded together to bring it back, and they actually did. And they opened with limited operations in 2018, and then they went to a full lift service in 2019. So their operating model is really similar to kind of what we're thinking about. So our relationship with them, they've been really good advisors on kind of, we're learning from what they've gone through because they're doing a lot of the same stuff. So it's just, again, a very kind of motivational and inspiring story to see that this has been done elsewhere. And this is just a quote from Jeff Grant, who's the president of the Antelope Butte Foundation. I'm just going to read the bold part here. He basically said, had we not chosen the nonprofit route when Antelope Butte Foundation was formed in 2011, the Antelope Butte Mountain Recreation Area likely wouldn't be open today. So he just is all about that nonprofit is the way to kind of bring back these small community-based hills.
All right, so some frequently asked questions that we heard through the previous request for proposal process was, what do your operating hours look like? What does traffic look like? What does parking look like? Will's talked to the operating hours already. We think we could start with Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and holidays. Expected winter season, December through the end of the March. Expanded hours will be considered for school days or special programs or anything along those lines. Traffic and visitation, expected visitors, winter 50 people per day, summer 245 people a day. Again, this was SE group analysis based on their research, looking at other resorts and what traffic could look like in an area like this. That said, we will pay close attention to the number of people coming up and down Panadero Avenue to ensure that it doesn't become a nuisance. And we want to hear from the community if it does. And if it does, we'll take steps to address that. I don't know what those steps are right now, but we will listen, and we would like to make sure that everybody knows that if it's a problem to you, it's a problem to us as well. Parking, that always comes up. Where is everybody going to park? I don't know. How about on the road? Cool? Yeah. No, Billy's new driveway. Good luck getting out.
Park on the side of the county road.
All right, so I did a little unofficial investigation. I believe that based on, I think it was 7 feet width per parking spot, there's about 281 potential parking spots. That includes the main parking lot up here, the Panadero Property Owners Association and Huerfano County Trash House that belongs to the county. That has, I think, 35 potential spots in there. The Mercantile has said that they would love to house people here. They already have an agreement with a landowner across that would allow them to do parking over there. So we would need to engage that person. And the Panadero Property Owners Association currently has a memorandum of understanding with the county to allow overflow parking into Lot 4. So we would have to explore those different venues, but we believe that there's the ability to park 281 people there.
Kale, can I add something too?
Please.
So our good friends, Sexy Pizza down there in Trinidad, have talked about running buses and shuttles up as well. And that's a fantastic model that we would hope to replicate down in La Veta as well, maybe even Walsenburg to kind of help with the parking situation, depending on how many people are coming up. But that's another model that we're thinking about is kind of shuttle buses. And then again, it's working with those local businesses so they can sell packages or, hey, stop in for a beer or food afterwards and all that. So that's something else we have planned.
I'm good. I had it on mute. So affordable, family-friendly recreation. For those online, I just said some brilliant things that everybody in the room is in tears right now. You didn't miss anything. That concludes the presentation that we did for the Board of County Commissioners. But before we move into your questions, and I'll do yours first because I know that you had to leave early. I went into Okay, great. I like to hear that. A few announcements before we go into. I'm slowing down so that this thing will catch up. Just
Such eye contact.
this is big. No. For those online, we're waiting for the on-site presentation to come back.
I think it's just overheating.
Yeah. All right. Announcements. We've shared a lot of good news with you today about the lift, but go Trojans. We had a call on Thursday with Trinidad State College who wants to be a backer of the park. They believe in what we're doing here. They want to get students up here to recreate. They want to have programs up here. They want to offer courses around things that we're doing at the park. So I literally just got chills.
Wasn't that the first college in Colorado?
First college in Colorado.
First,
Let's go with yes. I don't know.
I think it was.
Second,
If I may on that, Will and I have personally met the entire Trinidad State College soccer team on top of West Spanish Peak. And we are so excited to have that kind of energy at the park.
go Trojans. Mission Mount Mangard. So we talked a lot about Chris Anthony a little bit earlier. I don't think I mentioned that he's also a director and producer, and he's done 2 films about the 10th Mountain Division based out of Camp Hale in Colorado. When he heard about our program and he heard about the Fox Theater being a 501c3 in Walsenburg, he said, can I bring my movie there as a fundraiser? So this is happening. On November 11th, which is Veterans Day, we're going to show his movie there. We're going to provide 50 free tickets to veterans of the county. Chris is going to come down. He's going to speak to the audience. We're going to show the movie, and it's just going to be a grand time. So mark that down, November 11th. Anything to add to that?
We hopefully will be opening online sales for tickets this upcoming week. A little bit more announcements. This is a global film tour. He spent the last month almost over in Europe showing this in Slovenia, Austria. So it's really cool to have such a big event come to the Fox in Walsenburg in Huerfano County.
Right.
So we're super excited. There's also going to be a few VIP tickets. We get to personally meet Chris and talk to him about all his experiences. This guy has been through it. If you've seen Warren Miller films, you've seen him. He's just an awesome dude. So we're really excited for this. So yeah, be on the lookout on our Facebook website, all that stuff, and we'll be announcing how to get these tickets.
Okay. Last announcement, the Cuchara Astronomical Group. We have someone, Kristen Martinez, who's setting up this organization. She has asked us to print out a sign-up sheet. If you'd like to learn more about what goes into the Cuchara Astronomical Group, sign up there. She'll email you and share more. My understanding is we're going to be embracing the dark skies as we have been doing for years. We still want to see that deck get built up top that we can use for night viewing. We can use it for weddings. We can use it for pounding beers on a ski day. So if you're interested in that, there's a sign-up sheet, and then Kristen will reach out to you. There had to be a pitch at the end. So if you like what you're hearing, we've set this up where you can text the letters PSC to 53555, hit send, and it's going to link you to our donation page. There may or may not be a subliminal message up here. Thank you. Thank you for bearing with us through the projector. Thank you for coming out to support us.
Kale, can I say one more thing kind of about how the community can get involved? Because of course we would love donations. Anything you can give will make an immediate impact. But volunteering your time as well is another way to make a huge difference. So we are planning a volunteer workday weekend on October 22nd and 23rd up here to kind of help get the ski runs in shape. So that's another thing we'll be announcing soon on our Facebook with how to RSVP for that. But if you're also interested in helping out at the mountain when it is open, if you want to learn to be a ski operator or a lift operator and bump chairs for people, or you want to be a greeter, or you want to sell tickets,
Come sell tickets with me.
we have a join our team little button up top. You can go to our website, skiingcuchara.org, hit the join our team. There's a form there that we ask you to submit your name, your email, and kind of the areas you might be interested in volunteering. Robin, he is our ski patrol safety director. Our ski patrol is going to be all volunteers, and I'm sure he's looking for more volunteers to serve on the ski patrol. So if you have experienced that, I don't know if you're training anybody, but
Yes, the class will start probably either at the end of October or start of November. Starts with a medical class, then once we've got snow, and there's toboggan handling and all that goes into ski patrol as well.
cool. So yeah, so that's another way. We'll always take your money, but we also would love your. We'll also love you to come up and just and help out. It really will take a village. That's what we've learned from these other nonprofits, that it takes the whole community coming together to make this happen. So, so please volunteer if this sounds interesting.
Yeah. Before you all leave, we have some pamphlets up here that you can take with us. You can share with your friends. Feel free to do that. Who's going to be our first brave individual to ask a question?
What was the number to text to?
53
53
555.
535.
God, I hope that's right.
Testing, you know.
53555. So you can text it. It commits you to nothing. It just replies back with the URL to that site on the right.
What will be the status of the roads?
Status of the roads.
Panadero Avenue?
Yeah, they get really bad in the winter
Yeah.
and in the
Is the
spring.
county gonna help with
The county is directly responsible for that road, and they said that, yes, we acknowledge that, and when it gets bad, let us know, and we'll take care of it. In the past, they've had a grader stationed over there, and we had someone just come up and they grade it. If they can station that there, we can probably have people here that can grade it as well. But it is the county's responsibility to do that road.
So they're not thinking of paving it or anything?
That is something I don't know. That's a county question, but it's their responsibility.
Okay, thank you.
No, thank you.
Okay, so I'm a mom and have kids, and I know that the kids sometimes need to use the bathroom, and the moms might need to use the bathroom. Are the vault toilets going to be the only bathroom option, or will the day lodge be open? How will that work out?
Right now, we have the vault toilets, yes, which is less than ideal. We all know that. It's something. The mercantile, where we are right now, will be open. And they said that if people want to come in and use the toilets here, they're warm, they're clean, so that's an option. If we're dealing with traffic that necessitates porta-johns, we'll do that and get some out there. But it's going to be one of those things we have to assess what it looks like. But right now, this is rustic, mom and pop. And you're not going to get a lot of bells and whistles right off the top. You're going to have to use that vault toilet, and in all likelihood, I'd bring my kids in here because they'll go out for 90 minutes and then be happy to come inside and get a hot chocolate.
Yeah, the gate will be open, so it'll be easy to ski on down and come on into the mercantile.
Hold on.
Yeah. I think you need to make a big deal out of what Donna's doing downstairs and the food that's available and how great it feels. And she's going to be open this winter. And so if someone is thinking, well, what am I going to do about food? Or do I need to, whatever, make sandwiches for everyone? If somebody in here hasn't tried her, she's amazing. And she's here in this building.
Yeah.
And very affordable.
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt. We thanked Chris and Donna at the beginning of this, but they've been busting their butts all summer long. I've come up for the the chicken dumpling soup. It's incredible. But yes, I mean, Chris and Donna have been kind of the key members of getting this all together. And what they've done with these buildings is amazing. And the relationship between them here and us has been off the charts.
Right. It's a win-win for this organization and for them.
Absolutely.
They are our food solution on the mountain, so for
Yes,
sure.
and it's wonderful.
Yeah, so SE Group has asked us several times, what is your food and beverage plan? And it's Chris and Donna. we don't, we're figuring out skiing. We're not going to figure out a restaurant as well. Might anybody else have a question? Hold on one moment while we bring the mic over. What I could probably do now is bring us some light. Whoa. Yeah, how about that? Fred, did that hose everything? We're good.
Okay, when do you anticipate Lift 4 opening and an approximate cost for a lift ticket?
Yeah. We are hoping, it's all dependent upon getting that certification from the state. As soon as we get that, we're going to be eligible to carry people. And once we get that certification, we'll be able to nail down plans and what the winter will look like. We have an internal target. We'd like to see it by the Christmas holiday of this year. But again, there's way too many variables in play for us to commit to. It's going to happen here.
And then lift ticket price.
Oh, lift ticket prices. What do you think is reasonable? What's a reasonable price? Less than failed. Done. 200. Everybody, we today are announcing $278 per ticket. It's less than bail. No, I think our highest price is for an adult at $36, and these are subject to change. But we're targeting $36 for an adult, and it can go all the way down to, I think, $22 for, you know what?
We have it. So the top, well, I guess we'll pull it out so we don't have to remember it exactly. But we are committed to being one of, if not the lowest ticket prices in all of Colorado. We might not quite be like the Lake City Ski Hill, which just has a little pillar. The thing is at $25, but when I did my research on what everybody's spending or charging for a lift ticket, it's all a little bit over 40. We plan to be under 40. Kids are going to be pretty much at 20. We got Kelly here to give
Sure.
all the
So this is what's in our plan, again, subject to change. We're targeting $36 for an adult, $30 for an adult who's a county resident or military veteran. Youth tickets, $22. Youth in county, youth county residents, 18, seniors, 65 to 79, 30, and in county seniors or military veteran seniors, 24. So pretty much 20 to 36, depending on where you land.
Yeah. Anybody mind if I go to a few of our online questions? All right, we had a couple come in from one person on Facebook. They wanted to know the estimated traffic in the Pandora proposal is higher than the proposal that was made in the spring. I would like to double click into that a little bit more as to what numbers this person was looking at. But I feel that I did a pretty good job today of talking about the number of people that we see coming to the park. And again, if it becomes too much for the community, we're going to be here to listen to that, put things in play to say how might we limit the number of people here. This has got to be a joint effort between the community and between us to make it work for all. Next question, the lift ticket cost is higher. If locals could not afford it then, how can they afford it now? I don't know what the lift ticket cost is higher than, but we just talked about ticket prices there. I don't see how we can make it any lower and any more affordable for families. I think I said at the beginning that we're looking to make a family of 4 be able to come out here for a day for less than $100.
You know, we've gotten some discussion on Facebook as well of folks just maybe not understanding a nonprofit. Nonprofit doesn't necessarily mean non-revenue, But because we can focus on bettering the community rather than satisfying shareholders, because we can pursue grants, because we can host fundraiser events, that will help us keep our ticket prices down. So we do still need that ticket price revenue, but everything else we're doing in our nonprofit model allows us to keep it incredibly affordable, to what Will said, aiming for the cheapest lift ticket in Colorado. That's our goal.
I'll do one more. We'll go back to the group here, and then we'll get back to this. But there's about, 7 to 10 questions that came in a line, and I wanted to address all of them. Concerts, will they end before 6 p.m. as to not disturb local residents? 6 p.m. is kind of early. I think we're going to go past that. We had 2 events that we sponsored, the July 2nd event and We're Found-A-Mess, and I think We're Found-A-Mess went later than the July 2nd event, and that was done by 8:30.
Music outside ended about 8:30, 8:45.
Yeah. So I'm a member of the Panadero Property Owners Association, and I know that our quiet hours start at 10 p.m. I would like to hear from the other homeowners associations what their quiet hours are, and we can certainly respect that. And again, we are here to hear from the community. If we're hearing that things are too loud, that there's any issues at all, we will hear that. We will try to address that. One other thing needs to be noted, that we may not be hosting the concerts, Panadero Ski Corporation. This is the Cuchara Mountain Mercantile, and it's an event center. And if they wish to have somebody hire a band or something along those lines, that is their prerogative to do so on their own property. And they've even done that for weddings here before. They've had people come in. Absolutely.
They mandate 10 p.m. right now.
10 p.m.?
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Aspenley Village, it's 10 p.m.
10 p.m.?
And they're probably the closest to you guys. I mean, to the mountain.
But even up there, we have great music when we
So I'm hearing a vote for later and more.
Music, then they go to 10:30, you know.
I think it's just that
Some
some
bagpipe and an accordion, then we might, go, ooh.
I think some people hear the word festival and they're imagining like Burning Man on Cuchara Mountain Park. And that's, that would be pretty cool, but that's not what we're aiming for. And like I was just talking with Will about this today, of if we did have some kind of music festival on mountain rather than at the Mercantile, I don't know if y'all have been up there after dark, but it's really dark. It's really, really dark. So I just can't imagine anything huge up there making a lot of noise for the community after hours. But if it is, we're here to address it.
Okay, turn it over to the group here. Yes. Hold on one moment. Would you mind?
I'm just going to ask about ski rentals, skis and boots.
You got ideas?
Yeah. No, I'm just asking.
No, Will has
See, we're
reached
from
out
Texas.
to.
Yeah, I can answer that. So we have identified that rentals, along with obviously a ski school, is crucial to our mission. So we will be working kind of in that kind of timeline I showed you. Something I didn't mention is we hope within the year 3 we are able to set up a rental shop on mountain here, because right now the nearest rental is in Pueblo for skis. Bob Walker, I believe is his last name, at Edge Ski and Paddle, has been a great supporter. I've been in discussions with him about maybe doing some mobile days before we're up here, so we can plan ahead and say, hey, he's going to bring a van up with some rentals so we can have it. So we'd love to have it day 1, but we just won't have it. We just can't pull everything together, but it is in our plan to bring on as soon as possible. It is another revenue source, but it is crucial to our mission, because we know getting people into snow sports is expensive, and you don't go buy your gear first before you go try it. So we know how important that is, so we'll get it done as soon as we can.
Yeah, and I know it just seems like skis and boots, but it is such a huge investment to get that inventory. It's actually not the skis that's the problem, it's all the boots that you have to have in every single size. So that's the challenge for us, is the space, the investment. We'll need a partner when we get there, maybe to get off the ground. And as much as we'd like to have that in year 1, it's going to be tough. But we definitely have our eye on it. We know that's something we need.
Hi, thanks. So you guys, on the lift ticket, when you're selling tickets, what's that look like? Where do you go to do that? Because I don't think the facility over here is ready for that, so.
So we think we're going to have the day lodge ready. The old ticket windows will be open there on the day lodge. Hopefully the county finishes that deck up, puts a railing in. That'd be nice to have before snow season, but that's kind of where it will be. We'll also be doing online advance tickets as well. So you could buy online, get a printout, bring it to the counter, and just exchange it for a lift ticket. We're actually probably this year, I think we're going to use the old Cuchara Mountain Resort lift tickets that we found in a box. So it's a bit of a throwback. So you'll have to use it's a wicket and a sticky on it. Like they don't make lift tickets like that anymore. So
We had to read the fine print on the back to make sure the Colorado legalese was up to date.
and it was. So there'll be a window up at the day lodge. You walk up, or you can buy ahead of time. We'll have something on the website.
I think I should mention we still have some folks watching on YouTube Live. If you have access to the Google form that we sent out via our Facebook page and you wanted to submit a question, I have that sheet up right now and it'll pop right in there. So you have that option. I have a couple more that were submitted beforehand. I can do that now, or I can allow the group to ask some more questions. Yes, please.
So you were talking about county residents. There's a lot of people that are from other states
Uh-huh.
that have houses here, but they aren't official Colorado residents. So what do you consider a county resident?
It's interesting. Well, I think I would defer to what's ever on the driver's license.
Because like I have an Arizona driver's license, but...
Get her out of here.
But we're here. I am going where it's warm. No, but we're here 5 months of the year. So we'd have a water bill, local water bill, and local electric bill and all that.
I think that's reasonable. I mean, providing something, we're going to be flexible. Our main goal is getting people out to the park. So if a discount is necessitated, talk to us, and I'm sure that you're not going to get into a fight with someone at the ticket window.
And we also plan to have a season pass option, probably year 2. So that may be much more economical than buying them one at a time too.
Please be mindful over
Yeah, the 4-pack, the Copper Mountain 4-pack.
here. All right, so let's start from the bottom now because I just went through the same person's 3 questions. So let's get a different one in here. Who is responsible for finishing the repairs on the day lodge? When will it get done? I would like to know that too. No, the county owns that building. Everything that's on the parkland, the county owns. We've had estimates at around $500,000 to $600,000 to get that into good shape. Our primary focus as Panadero Ski Corporation is raising the money to enable people to get onto the lift and enable winter and summer recreation with the lift. That said, we're very much working with the county to request grants to see if we can get the money to improve the day lodge. So when will it get done? It's not going to be next summer, so maybe the summer after that if grant funding comes through.
I would just want to say, Matt and I have volunteered with the Day Lodge quite a bit in our years, and it is a volunteer kind of thing that has been going on. It's going to be rustic. No, it's not going to be an Aspen or Vail. It's definitely not. The bathroom, which we raised money for, they put in, and then we discovered that there was lots of problems underneath the Day Lodge, I believe. And so that's why it cannot be used for a large amount of people. It'll, overflow or whatever, and that would not be pretty. So I think that opening up the Day Lodge, I know, is a great thing that we can do, and I admire that whoever gave the money for the new decking, and I know Mr. Coppola has worked on the Day Lodge tirelessly. So I think that, again, it won't be perfect, but I do think it'll be open in some capacity, maybe with a volunteer staff member or somebody there that can say, hi, come in, get warm by the fire, and then go back out and ski.
Absolutely. I would love to see the
Yep.
fireplace going in there and
Right.
people sitting around and
And
enjoying
don't
it.
fall down or off the deck. Yeah, or slide off the deck.
All right. Will there be ice skating? It's a great idea, and it's possible, but again, focused on...
Not intentional ice skating. Sorry.
Our priorities are allowing people lift-served recreation, winter and summer, enabling programs at the park. Ice skating would be great. There would be a lot of logistics that go with that. Let's put that on a 5-year plan. Ooh, this next one isn't going to go over well. I don't even know if I want to read it.
Go ahead.
Will free sledding still be allowed? Kelly? No, I don't. You don't have to answer that.
It's okay. Unfortunately not, and this is why. When Jeremy grooms those ski hills, that sled flies so fast, you could easily top like 35 miles an hour, right? So it's a safety concern for us. It's also a liability problem. There are companies that specialize in ensuring and providing safety guidance to ski resort areas, and they will not insure any ski hill that allows sledders on the hill.
To the bigger picture, we've had reports of 2 people that were injured while sledding, and luckily they weren't significant injuries, but the potential is there. So it is a great thing that the community has embraced, and we acknowledge that, but it's just not safe. It's not a liability thing, it's a safety thing. We don't want to see anybody get hurt. That said, the county has heard that people still want it and they want to find options. They're talking to us about it, but it needs to be something that the county would take responsibility for, that we cannot do that.
So
I'm sorry, Kelly. How are you going to stop someone with a sled on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? They have to be there. But that's the county's.
We hired a guy, his name's Chester. You know what, I mean, we're not going to have security staffing in the park. It's an open park that's open from dusk until dawn. People can freely go. We're going to have signage. We would rely on any volunteer, any board member, anybody that's here in the park to kindly walk up to someone and say, please respect the signage that we have put in place, that we cannot have people sledding out here.
So I know that's a disappointing answer. We're certainly doing everything we can to try to deliver as much as possible to you and guests. And unfortunately, this is like one of those things that has to be a trade-off, and we hope you'll be understanding of that.
Can you turn that down a little bit, please?
Are there other places in the area that can be like are great for sledding that can redirect people?
Yep. So for YouTube, the question was, is there someplace else the kids can go sledding, correct? I don't know.
We actually have a space next to our place that we make for
That's a death trap, Kale.
It really is. We have one that has already hit a tree.
Yeah.
Felt great about that. So not only is it not safe over here, it's not safe in my backyard.
Kale, you don't have sound.
Again, brilliance and missed online.
No, that's a good question. I think I would actually, as we get closer to winter, I might pop in my car and just drive around town and see where the kids are. This is a long way to go for some folks in Levada and Walsenburg just to go sledding. Surely they're doing some sledding in town too. So let me get back to that person on that.
Crowd, anything, or we go back to? I probably have 3 or 4 more. Yes, sir. Are you going to do that, or should I do that?
I think you talked to him a little bit.
Okay. So the question that Will brought up is the difference between sledding and tubing. Tubing is going to be in a controlled area. Our insurance company will come out here and they will literally show us how it needs to be built, what we need to have in place for sledding. The tubes are specifically designed with a coefficient of friction that's going to slow them down. The tubing lane itself is going to come on a decline like this and finish like that, just like an airplane runway. Sledding, as we see it, is any man-powered sled that you would buy at Ace Hardware or anything like that, where you're hiking up the hill, plastic, basically not a tube that would be provided by us. Does that hit what you're talking about?
I'm just wondering who pays for electricity and water here? Like, will it be the county? Will it be PSC?
That's part of our memorandum of understanding. The county is going to cover some utility costs at first, and they're going to cover trash, I believe. We have a memorandum of understanding that has this all documented out there. So it's either going to be us or them. I would prefer them. However, there's going to be some buildings that they're not going to pay for utilities. For one, we're trying to get electrical to the pump house, which requires or allows us to make snow. That would be our responsibility, not the county's. They are going to pay for electricity in the day lodge and some other areas. But so it's going to be a split. Yes, sir. Oh, hold on for your microphone. Hold on before you go. Earlier in the presentation, I mentioned 4 people. Waylon is one of those 4 team members that has been working hard on the lift.
Thank you.
Now, it better be a good question after that.
So, one of the things I've seen at the ski area I worked at last, and just kind of wondered if you guys had thought about this yet, but is there a plan in place for those days when you have to call a wind hold on the lift? Or if somebody, they already bought the tickets, they show up in the morning, because I hear it gets pretty windy up here.
Mm-hmm.
And so, does that look like, is that a refund? Is that a rain check? I was just kind of curious if you guys had thought.
We haven't exactly defined that yet, but absolutely, that's part of the operational plan that we're going to put in place. We're working with some of those nonprofits we talked about a little bit earlier to see what their operations plans, and actually Kurt from Angel Fire has offered to help us a little bit, but we have the skeleton structure of what our operations plan looks like, and we're starting to work on that right now. But yes, there will be something in place to accommodate those windy days or the days that we're unable to operate and people have purchased tickets. Let's go back to the fun questions. Snowmaking. Last time around, the complaint was that water would be wasted on out-of-state visitors. It was a waste then. Is it now okay to waste it on locals? No, water use is a legitimate question, and I believe we talked to that a little bit earlier, that we will be making snow. We believe that 80% of the snow that goes on the mountain will be returned to the watershed.
We don't believe that is a documented scientific.
Documented science?
It's facts. It's science.
Right. So we can take the geographic location of the visitors out of that question to say that we believe snowmaking is necessary to provide outdoor recreation in the winter. We plan to do it. We believe we have the rights. And actually, the courts have actually said that it's beneficial to the state of Colorado based on our recreation.
If I may add, there's also this notion that snowmaking, the sole intention is to extend the season, and that's one of the benefits, but it's also that when we have that many people coming down the hill, turning, edging, pizzaing, that pushes off the snow, it packs it down, you lose it. So snowmaking not only, yes, extends the season a little bit, but also keeps the snow fresh and safe during the season. It's really, really important. There is basically no ski hill that operates completely without it. It's also chemically a slightly different composition, not chemically, but structurally it's different from natural snow. It's important to have up there. Non-profits pay no taxes. So any money generated at the park stays at the park in salaries and maintenance. What's not said was the last folks were willing to pay to lease the park and pay taxes. In the end, the county loses 2 revenue streams, lease payments and taxes. But wait, you say, every dollar spent in the community generates X amount of spending. Yes, it will, and that money would have been spent with the last folks plus lease payments and taxes.
There's some truth in that. There was going to be a lease agreement, and that was going to go to the county, and taxes would be paid on any revenue that a for-profit would generate. We don't have much say in that, but we believe the best operating model is a nonprofit model, and we talked about the numbers that would go back into the community. I think $1.12 million back into Huerfano County is huge, and that can't be ignored. So if we're missing out on a little bit of tax revenue based on us not putting back into the local coffers, I'm sorry, but $1.12 million should make up for that.
And to add to that real fast, the recommendation for a nonprofit or the county to run the park here came from the SE group and their financial analysis. And they basically said a for-profit option on this mountain is going to be difficult with the overhead that is needed. So that a lot of that did come from SE group's recommendations to go with a nonprofit or have the county run it, but they do not want to scale up to have to run the mountain. So just a little more context that's part of the reasoning into the decision. It was SE group's analysis and recommendation.
Is this on? Yeah. So I think something that's been missed in all of this hand-wringing and doubting Thomas questions, all the money that PSC is raised and put into the lift and snowmaking and infrastructure, it's county assets. It's a win. They win. And the idea that somehow we're getting over on the county is, to my mind, absurd. How much have we spent on that lift? 60,000?
At least that was probably a month ago when we ran those numbers. It's probably upwards to 80.
It's all county property.
Yeah.
They didn't put a dime into it. So I don't get the concern.
Yeah. Agreed. I have one more question here. Nothing new came into the form from any of our YouTube viewers. Does anybody else in the audience here have a question? All right, last question. How is it that Will Perkey is so outrageously handsome?
I wonder who submitted that.
That may have been Kelly's.
I didn't think you were going to read that.
I asked beforehand if we were reading all the questions, and I believe you said yes, all the questions. All right, so if nobody has any additional questions, I thank each and every one of you for coming out here. I feel that everybody here feels like a strong partner and is for the park, and we need to continue to spread the word that we're doing something special here. By spread the word, I mean text 53555. No, if you can tell your friends, text PSC to 53555. I should have had the slide up there. It's immensely helpful. The campaign that Will has set up right now is, I think you started that less than a week ago, and probably over $6,000 on that. So momentum is picking up. We have the Chris Anthony event. It's going to pick up even more from there. Chris Anthony is now hitting his network. Robin just donated 20 grand, right? Hold on one moment.
I understand. She's coming. Not a question, but a comment. I just wanted to express heartfelt thanks for those of you that stood up in February and formed the new board, all 7 of you. And that's John O'Telling, who's not here, Cale, Will, Kelly, Ken. Just a great team, and I'm sure I left
Tom and Robin.
And Robin. Robin is the only senior in that group. We've got young folks that can practically run up that mountain. Will does it 4 times in a day. It's just, and that's what we wanted. We wanted the enthusiasm. You've demonstrated that. You've raised money. You're doing good things. And I just hope people really appreciate what you've brought to the group in a short period of time. We've got a lot of other people that are working hard on it as volunteers, but you folks are doing a super job. And
Yeah,
I just wanna
absolutely.
make sure it's recognized.
And I got one more, right back at you, Jim, because we're taking what was given to us in March, and we were given an amazing opportunity. And Jim Littlefield, former chair of Panadero Ski Corporation, was a major player in getting us to a very good spot. We had Billy, Chris Smith, Mike Moore, yes, absolutely. Yeah. Am I missing anybody, Jen?
Mike Fleener.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so John Hotelling, I think, went on record at the Board of County Commissioners meeting to say that we're standing on the shoulders of giants. So we've been given something special, and we're just trying to do something special with it.
And also the Cuchara Foundation, and building off their
Yeah.
work to create this park. So it's all, I think Lois had a great post recently that it's kind of like watching her kid grow up. And I've said this a few times, it's a full community effort, and that's what makes this so special.
Well, we appreciate you bringing it to us and having this open forum that's helpful.
Thank you. All right, huzzah.
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 And if you're interested in the dark sky stuff, don't forget
Yes.
to supply some contact info here.
For that.
If you wanted to share the story with friends, we have pamphlets that you can give them.
When Panadero first opened, clear back when, I got to come down in a toboggan behind the ski patrol. Consequently,
Oh.
this knee. So I need one of those first ski tickets, I think.
I'd like a few more of those.
Sure.
Thank you so much. We enjoyed
You're
the
welcome.
presentation a lot.
Good.
We're up at Panadero Villas.
Nice.
Been watching all.
What are your quiet hours? When do they start? 10?